important thing if you want to have a kind of very active, efficient brain is to do exercises. You go and search internet today. That's the most important thing. If you do exercises, your brain activity level goes very high. And you have to have a good breakfast immediately. That's also important because brain needs a lot of sugar. So you do 20 minutes physical activity and have a good breakfast. Rest of your day will kind of be improved. Intellectual capacity will improve a lot. That's why you have, at any education institute, you have grounds, gymnasiums, and all the facilities for you to do physical activities. Go and search internet. The connection between exercise and brain. You search and find out, I am not the kind of expert. Then you need financial stability. So you have to have a good job. You should be, if you are an average person, you are not going to demand high salary. But if you are an above average person, your financial strength will go up remarkably. And you should be able to buy what you want. Doesn't mean you have to buy all the expensive things. But you should be in a position to buy what you want. And make sure salary is not the only thing that brings you financial stability. Then you should follow your religion or some other kind of life philosophy in a meaningful way. You have to spend time on that. All those things are important. But you should not be a slave for those things. You have to have a balanced life. Then intellectually, you should feel every day I learn new thing. I was intellectually challenged before you go to bed. Otherwise, it's a boring thing because you wake up every day, follow the same things, wake up, go to washroom, brush your teeth. I mean, it is the same thing. If you haven't done anything new or learned anything new or haven't been intellectually challenged, you will get bored. So, and spend time with your family and do a lot of right brain activities because IT is kind of a left brain thing. Spend some time, you can use photography, music, arts, do a few things like that. Use your right brain and do some creative writing courses or whatever activities. You can write blogs, you can help others kind of give answers to technical questions in a meaningful way. Spend time on these things. It is important. And again, somebody who has done these things will have a higher bargaining power in the interview. We give more higher salaries for those people who can do multiple things, because the person who is just doing coding will not add any value. I mean, at least you do 2 or more activities in the organization to have a kind of a good career growth. You want to? Yeah.
Okay. On this one, what we wanted to talk about is like a lot of people have this perception that IT equals coding or programming. IT and program but if you look at the reality, it's more than that. There are different roles in IT. IT has different things like sales, marketing, documentation, quality assurance, development. Development is only one part of it. So IT, if you really look at IT, it is a big spectrum. And when you want to find what you want to do, you need to find your strengths. If I'm a person who can speak well, has very good interpersonal skills, and I can convince people, probably then becoming a programmer, I should become a salesperson in IT. If I have a mindset where I need to break things, break into a system and see almost a hacker kind of mentality, probably you should become a quality assurance engineer. The thing here is, in our industry, unfortunately, especially in local context, we have come to this mindset where we assume that certain jobs are inferior to the others. அதாவது சில நேரத்தில் நாங்கள் ஒரு ரோல் மெட்ட ரோலை விட குறைஞ்ச ஒரு ரோல்னு நினைப்போம். அதெல்லாம் நாங்கள் பிளவுறது. நாங்கள் எங்கண்ட பலம் எதென்று பார்த்து அந்த பலத்துக்கு எதிராக நாங்கள் ரோலை தெரிவு செய்யணும். மெட்டால் சாஃப்ட்வேர் டெவலப்பராக வர்றாருண்டாக்கா நான் சாஃப்ட்வேர் டெவலப்பராக வர தேவையில்லை. ஐடியில் நான் என்ன கண்டுபிடிக்கணும்னா எனக்கு இந்த ரோல் எந்த பலங்களுக்கு எந்த ரோல் எனக்கு கூட சூட் ஆகும். ஏன்னா ஒவ்வொரு ரோல்லையும் போயிட்டு பெரிய ஆளாக வரலாம் ஐடியில். ஸ்டீவ் ஜாப்ஸ் வாஸ் நாட் அ ப்ரோக்ராமர். பில் கேட்ஸ் இஸ் அ ப்ரோக்ராமர். ஆனால் அவர்கள் எல்லாரும் ஜாம்பவான்களாக வந்தவர். ஸோ ரிமெம்பர் தட் இட்ஸ் மோர் தேன் தட், ரைட்? ஸோ இட்ஸ் நாட் அபவுட் IT is not about software development. give me 1 second. I'll just talk to, just to show you the variety that we have here today. Now, one of the people that I have is like, I have a developer, I have a requirement engineer, and I have developers here, and then a project manager, and a CTO. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, IT has a lot of roles, and I'll get Dulipa, who is a project manager, just to ask what a project manager does. Dulipa, please. What does a project manager do? To just describe your job for us.
Thanks, Harsha. Okay, I work as a project manager at Sanit. To answer your question, let's take a simple example sort of thing. Okay, this is a lifetime thing I think most of you will do. Let's take a wedding planning. Okay, if you take a wedding planning, it should be unique. I would say like you won't do your wedding as your sister's or like your brother's one or your parents. It's a unique for you. And then you should have a specific timeline for the planning. That means you have a start date and you have end date, which is the wedding date. And apart from that, you have timeline, start and end date, and then the scope. That means the specific things, activities you have to carry out in a wedding. Let's say invitations, food, inviting your relations, and the ceremony, etc. And then you have a budget. Like, even though you see very fancy weddings, you cannot spend all your money on the wedding. So you have very limited budget. So you have to manage your wedding within that budget. So likewise, if I try to map this to project management, similarly, we have a limited number of resources, which can be financial as well as human resource. And we have a time duration, which is like the end date of the project. So we have to deliver the project within that end date. And expected certain functionalities, like which we call as scope. Like in the wedding, the certain things we need to cover. There's a scope for the project. And the role of the project manager is to balance out these three: scope, time, cost, by maintaining the proper expected quality. That's the role of the project manager.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Dulipa.